He is a character whom for the majority of his life has to fend for himself. So it gives people a hope that even if they feel as though they're stuck in a life that they don't want to be a part of, there is always a way out. There's always
Snake Eyes. You saved my life.
Hi, Henry. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm great, and I'm really excited to have the chance to talk with you about this.
Ooh.
Henry, Snake Eyes and the Joes have no superpowers. They are not superhumans, but they fight for a cause. You have a purpose, you commit with something. It doesn't matter if it's good or wrong, it doesn't matter. And in the middle of this superhero universe, in cinema and TV, this is great because they are no superhumans and you can relate with all these characters, especially Eyes. They are people with a background story dealing with pain. So what do you think about the fact that these are very special characters in the middle of this industry because they are humans like me, like you?
Yeah, I think it's really fresh. I think there's also something really special with the G.I. Joe franchise, especially knowing that, like you said, there's, they aren't born as kind of a superhero with, bullet bouncing bodies and lasers out of their eyes and can fly faster than a whatever. But these are people who have put themselves through a tremendous amount of dedication and hard work, and they fight for a cause they believe wholly and truthfully for the protection of others, those who can't protect themselves. And so for me, especially playing sort of Snake Eyes in such an interesting character, with the beginning of this movie, you really don't understand where he lies. He is a character whom for the majority of his life has to fend for himself. So being a selfish person in that sense. So to have a purpose, which we find out what that is later in the movie, to really align himself. So it gives people a hope that even if they feel as though they're stuck in a life that they don't want to be a part of, there is always a way out. There's always decisions and choices to make to realign your focus to become the best version of you as possible.
I came to make you an offer, Tommy.
Call me Storm Shadow.
Tommy is my favorite character in this film because in his journey to become Storm Shadow, reveals himself as a very human character. He's a good friend, but he gets frustrated and he's angry and he fails. And we can relate to that because we understand all of this. Even at the end of the film, we can understand why he is angry, his anger, and we can relate to your character. And for real, Tommy is my favorite character in this movie.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, Team Storm Shadow.
So what do you think about humanizing this character?
Yeah, that was very important to me because just like the whole representation aspect of you could take a very one-dimensional kind of cliche route, but I think that wasn't what we were trying to do, and it's certainly not what I wanted to do. So because Robert, he's such an actor's director, and I couldn't believe that I was on this big Hollywood film and they were listening to my ideas and my thoughts, tweaks in dialogue and refining it. The humanizing aspect was, it was trying to get to the, regardless of what world the character's in, like I guess you want to try and humanize, personalize it, you find it within you, the as if, the acting as if and all that stuff. So that part is the humanization part is the part where you can manage to, there's Tommy here, then there's Andrew here, what are the parallels, how do I access that? And then the research of the Japanese culture, cinema, history, this is a very rich character.
At the beginning of the film, I thought this is the journey of a man becoming a Joe and becoming a warrior, a great warrior. But at the end of the film, I felt so different because I realized that he's a survivor and he has always been a warrior in his own way. Maybe not pure, a little selfish maybe, but he has always been a warrior, and that's great. It's a great character.
Yeah.
And what I love and I really appreciate about this movie is the fact that it's very authentic. You know, this film is shot in Japan, and you see the messes through the film, and the choreographies are amazing. It's very authentic, and that's very important in terms of production and for the fans, of course. But it's even bigger because it's part of the experience and the conversation about diversity and representation. So what do you think about this authenticity as part of the narrative in this film?
Yeah, I think it was really necessary. I think a lot of the criticisms of sort of older films was that, yeah, you know, we've seen it a million times of cars jumping off mountains and people bouncing off this and that, and everybody's surviving, and there's this huge CGI battle of da 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 da. With Snake Eyes, there's a sense of jeopardy. We know that it's a person at the end of it. We know that they're not indestructible. They're going to get hurt. They're going to get a sword through the chest, or cut up and beat up. But they keep picking themselves up. They keep battling towards the greater good. And I think the world loves a fresh look. You know, that's why things like John Wick were so successful, is because it was so realistic and raw. That's the type of rawness that we really wanted to bring to cinema. And especially a rawness to a huge franchise, or a so-called sort of superhero franchise, to give a real grounded sense of reality. And I think people will really thoroughly enjoy it.
They're going to start a war.
I'm sorry. This isn't my fight.
Then tell me why you're here.
I mean, I think it's authentic in the sense that it's very truthful to the spirit of things. And I think it's so important to have that kind of positive representation of, ethnic minorities, and, well, not limited to ethnic minorities, but I think it's really important for the world to keep seeing, characters of like all ethnicities and all Black, origins, to be portrayed in a heroic role as positive role models. So I'm very, very excited that, kids who looks like me can see themselves on screen. And I think we should definitely keep, moving that movement forward.
Just to play this character and being part of this universe, I think was a risky decision in a certain way because of the first two films, maybe. And even with Storm Shadow and the way it was presented to us. So it was a hard decision to be part of this, or it was, that I'm gonna do this, I don't care about anything.
It's my first Hollywood film, and I'm not, desperate just to be in a big franchise film, and I've got to think carefully because, you live with those, you ideally want to be proud of your work, even though I'm very hard on myself when I don't like any of my own work. I always think I could do better. But it was very much, it wasn't like, let me be in a big Hollywood film. It was like, how do I do this? How do I do it right? Do they want to do it right? And once I knew that they did, that's when I was like, okay, maybe it's time.
It's yours, if you want it.
And considering all of this situation, and this is maybe a basic question, how did you prepare for your character, considering that she, at this very moment, doesn't have an origin story? Sorry. And I'm not only referring to the physical training and the sport and all these amazing sequences, but the fact that Akiko is more like a samurai. She's an example for everyone, including the clan and Snake Eyes. So you watch movies, or you invented her own story to play this character?
Well, I mean, because she's a new character and because her story is, yet to be written, I did have that freedom of kind of letting my imagination run wild and kind of invent little stories that you don't see on screen, but it was there in my mind when I was playing her. And I did do a lot of I watched some old Japanese movies and stuff as well, because Robert is the director, is a real cinephile, and he gave us loads of great references to watch and to read before we started filming. So I did do that, and yeah, I think I just had loads of fun, like playing Akiko and preparing to play her.
And thank you for your time and for this movie. I really enjoy it.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Thank you.